Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. This defendant dad is done dealing with his baby mama and baby mama's mama drama. But watch all the way to the end. This case is not demissed. And yes, I said that right. Demissed. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
McLean, how are you, sir?
Good. You know, statistical probability is a funny thing. I have about 5 clients, and I'm going to need to go off streaming for 4 of the 5. I could not have predicted this numerical anomaly.
Well, if you've been doing this long enough, the numbers all work in your favor or against you. Depends. Just like picking numbers for the lottery. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. You have been charged in case 25 CR 001838B with 2 counts of simple battery, family violence, and simple battery against a person who is 65 years or older or pregnant at the time of the offense. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
The last arrest was October 18th, 2022 out of Cobb for criminal damage to property and criminal trespass. There's a total of 5 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2023 for criminal damage to property. 2018 entering auto. Misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass in 2023. 2018 obstruction. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Malgizo?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from yesterday, April 7, 2025. The location is, Your Honor, the 2 victims in this case is Ms. Suda Salama Shabazz and Cassandra Renee Moore. Officers responded to a dispute at the location. Upon arrival, they spoke with the defendant, who stated that he had been involved in a dispute with the victim, Ms. Shabazz, who is the mother of his child and who is currently pregnant. The defendant told officers that the dispute became physical and that he pushed the victim. Officers did observe that the victim had visible marks on her arms. The victim's mother stated that she heard the altercation. She entered the room, and then the defendant forcefully pushed Ms. Moore to the ground. And Ms. Moore is the second victim. The victim, Ms. Shabazz, told officers that the defendant had been drinking prior to this altercation, and that she had to use a taser on the defendant in self-defense. Based on the statements from all the parties involved and the visible injuries on the victim, Ms. Shabazz, officers determined that the defendant was the primary aggressor and arrested him. Your Honor, we did speak with the victim. She stated that they are in a relationship. They live together at the incident location. They share 1 child. The victim is currently 5 months pregnant with the defendant's child. And she confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that the defendant is abusive and they have had altercations in the past. The state's recommendation, Your Honor, is a $3,000 surety bond for the defendant to complete a family violence intervention program. No further contact with both victims, Ms. Shabazz and Ms. Moore, or anyone else that resides at that location. Third-party contact if he wants to see the child. Stay away from no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And if we can sound, we can sound for the victims, Ms. Shabazz or Ms. Moore, in case they're present and wish to be heard.
And Ms. Malgizo, you're asking for $1,000 on each charge for a total of $3,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Shabazz, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity. I'll need for you to unmute yourself there for me. Okay, yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, ma'am. If you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
What I tell the court is that this all happened when he wanted to have an argument with me.
Ms. Shabazz, do you have someone there that can hold that baby for me?
Yeah. Yes, he
Okay.
was.
Get to a steady place. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous.
Okay,
But
take your time. Go ahead.
he was really very vulgar towards me for some strange reason. He would always do this. He would always argue about something so pointless with me, and I tried to ignore it, and he would always egg it on and egg it on. Then he went to the store. He came back. He brought me some Gatorade. Then he brought himself some alcohol. And on top of that, he was all up in my face. I was like, get out of my face. My son is asleep. Our son is asleep. And he wouldn't get out my face. So he decided to get up on my face. I was moving away from him. Then he decided to grab me, dragging me out the room where we sleeping. My son woke up. Then that's when my mom came in. Then he decided to push both of us. Then he was making up lie. He pushed my mother down. Then he called the police and made some lies.
I understand that.
This man is very abusive. I can't deal with this during my pregnancy. He did this before when I was pregnant with my second son with him. My first one with him. Sorry. So till he's ready to change, he could be around me. But as of right now, going forward, I don't want him around me or my son unless he's willing to change.
Okay. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Shabazz. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. McLean?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Smith is 24 years old. He has a high school education. His work in the past and present has been working for a gym, teaching fitness, working for a restaurant for 2 or 3 years, and working in tree trimming before that. He has well, I guess that's the incident address. He has family here in town, and I've in touch with them. So we would ask the court to consider signature bond and a 1,000 surety if not. Thank you.
All right, for each charge, it will be $1,000 good bond, makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Shabazz or Ms. Moore. Stay away from the incident location. He can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. As far as custody or transfer of the child for the minor's visitation, I'm going to leave that up to another court. So he is to follow any guidelines in regards to third-party transfer if something's established by the Superior Court. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Smith, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Mr. McLean, he has his hand up. Would you want to advise him, Mr. McLean?
Well, procedural how to make bond, we prefer that you call us on the desk line, which is 2-5215 from the courtroom. Otherwise, we would recommend that you remain silent.
Okay, that's totally fine, but it can't be a no contact, and it can't.
I definitely hear
I
a but.
can't go back to that address because
Let's go back. Let
me get this.
More time. Listen, Mr. Smith, I'm going to say it again. Be quiet. Thank you.
I'm not supposed to go back to my own address. They don't even pay rent there. They haven't paid rent there since they lived there. So I can't go back to the place that I have to forcefully pay rent, forcefully
We explain the
a year
concept.
and a half for. And then they're gonna lie and say I was abusive when they have records of me calling in the court that says that she
It
was.
is unseemly for you and
Hold
me to
on.
in front of the
Courtroom
court.
two.
That's
Can
fine.
we-
I got it. I just want to confirm because that is my address and I've been trying to evict them for a whole year now. So I can't go back to the address that I've been paying for 2 years now when they.
So, Mr. Smith, listen to, Mr. Smith, listen to me. I don't want you to get yourself in any more trouble, sir. If you've, it's up to you to if that's your address and you evict them, then if you say that you've been trying to do that for a year, you have the right to do that and proceed in any of those type of circumstances. It's my understanding that this is your child that you would be evicting though. But for now, listen to me, you can have no contact. And if this court finds out that you have had contact, then this bond's gonna be withdrawn and you're gonna be right back where you are. Okay, so I understand your predicament, but take that seriously because if you do, you're gonna be right back where you are. All right.
Your
court-
Honor, if I may,
Yes, Ms.
didn't
Falk.
interrupt. I was under the impression that this was Miss Moore's address. Mr. McLean, do you have any proof that this is actually Mr. Smith's address? The reason why we're asking, Your Honor, is because Miss Shabazz, the two of them are supposed to have stayed away from each other based on a prior case they have. And so I was unclear on whether I was under the impression that this was Miss Moore's residence, but if it's actually Mr. Smith's residence, then it will be Miss Shabazz who will have to leave that location.
Yeah, I don't have any proof.
Okay.
Miss Shabazz, are you still on the line with me?
Yes.
Okay, what's the address, Miss Falk?
Address?
Okay, is that your address? Do you live there?
Yes. We live together.
And- Okay, and do you have, Miss Falk, on any previous orders that there was a stay away?
Yes, Your
No.
Honor. We want to maintain candor with the court. We were under the impression that this was Miss Moore's address, not Mr. Smith's or Miss Shabazz's permanent address. But if this is Mr. Smith's address, then it is Miss Shabazz and Miss Moore who will have to depart. But I need some sort of proof of that, either in the form of a lease, something to help me sort out whose address is this.
Miss Shabazz, who is Miss Moore to you?
My mother. She's the grandmother of my child.
And is that your mother's address that you're staying in?
No, it's not. No.
Oh, okay, all right. So your mother stays someplace else.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And who's that saying yes behind you?
My mother.
Okay, and so you're Miss Moore?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, and Miss Moore, you don't live at that 1700 address. Is that what you're telling me? You live someplace?
Yes, I have been living here. We all been living here together.
Okay.
Your
Ms.
Your
Falk, do
Honor,
you have any-
if I may just inquire, Miss Shabazz, whose name is on the lease? Is it both of your names or one of your names?
It's actually his name on the lease.
Okay. So, Your Honor, it's Miss Shabazz who will have to vacate.
and
I
is
didn't
that
mean to
because-
muddy the water.
Is that because of a previous order?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so
But he was,
But he dismissed it. He refused it. He was
yeah,
gonna evict us and he refused it. He refused me and my mother because he wanted
well,
my mother home.
apparently, Ms. Shabazz, it doesn't, if there's a court order that says that you can't be at that location, then you can't be at that location. And that's mine. Am I right about that, Ms. Falk? That there's a court order that says that Ms. Shabazz cannot be at that 1700 address?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're gonna have to find yourself someplace else to live, Ms. Shabazz. Okay?
Okay, what time?
What time and what day that we supposed to leave?
Because she doesn't have any place to go.
Apparently you cannot have any further contact with one another. So if he comes back to that location, he has a right to be there, and you're gonna have to be someplace else when he comes back. That's all I
Okay.
can say.
I
Okay?
really don't care. at this
Okay,
point.
so. All right, so there won't be a stay away, Ms. Bridgewater, on this order for Mr. Smith. But there will be a no further contact.
Okay.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
You're
my
welcome.
apologies for the confusion, Your Honor.
No,
That was
no, glad we got that straight, Ms. Falk. Thank you.
Because he wanted to holler and scream.
Okay, so who do we have next? Do you have another question? Okay.
I wanted to say thank you, and I don't have no further questions.
Number
Okay.
12, Walter.